were already in your first module discussing about the semantics and how to integrate the data models, information models, all those concepts we covered. So today we will move into the next, which is about relationship between data categories. So told you the basic difference between an information model and a data model. So just try to remember the concept that any processed form of data is called information. Any raw content is data, and once the moment you process it, it becomes information. So there are different types of information models or data models. So all those things we discussed in the previous class, and there was a concept of something called ontology. Ontology means the vocabulary or the words that you use in a model depends on the context. So these are the basic concepts till now we covered in the first module. So now we'll move into the next part of the first module, that is relationship between the data categories. My slides are visible, right? Everybody can see this? Yeah, are my slides visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello? Okay. Okay, so now coming over to relationships. So what is basically a relationship? So in your consider a normal scenario. Suppose you are the son or daughter of your parents. So you have a relationship with your parents now, because they the relation. What kind of relation? There are different types of relationships which we'll discuss further as we move. Just understand that there is some kind of relationship that exists between your parents and the children, you and your siblings, you and your teacher. So there are various kinds of relationships, and it can be named differently depending on the relationship that exists. So now coming to the DBMS relationships. Now the database management system, what kind of relationships exist? So suppose a teacher teaches students, so the teacher is teaching the student. So the relationship is teaching. Teaching is the relationship that binds two entities. Who are the two entities? The teacher is one entity and the student is another entity. So the relationship or the binding between these two entities is possible through the relationship teaching. Okay. So suppose consider one example. There are two entities. One is your customer and another is account. Okay, customer has different attributes. Attributes means properties. So like customer name, the postal address, like city, state, which zip code, all these details of the customer are the attributes of the customer. Similarly, the account. Account has different attributes like the account number, what is the balance, and all those things. Okay, so we store the data of customer, suppose in one table, and store the data of the balance in another table. So what happens is we can relate both these tables, if the content of both these tables, through the use of key. Okay, so what is that key? Suppose customer ID is one key which is common between both the tables. Like in the customer table, there are customer ID, all these details, and in the account table also there is one customer ID and other details. So if that is the case, you can relate both of them using some key that will be the key for both of the entities, for the customer as well as for the account. One particular item or attribute, if it is common, you can consider that as a key which will be using helpful to you to connect both these and entities. So there are different relationships that exist between these entities. Like it may be one to one to many, or many to many relationships. So what are all this? So let's get into the details of this DBMS relationships. So whoever whenever you get this questions in exam, like what are the DBMS relationships, just focus on three: one to one to many, and many to many. And try to give examples of each of them. Suppose I am talking about one to one relationship. So consider this simple example: passport. So suppose each, or it is obvious, it is like mandatory that a person cannot have multiple passports. Okay, so every person will have maximum one passport. So how is the relationship? The person is one entity, passport is entity, and the relationship is having the passport. So person and passport can be related using this, which is a one-to-one relationship. Okay, each person will have passport, or like every person will have one passport. It's not that one person will have multiple passports. So this is just a simple example of like one-to-one relationship. So let me give you some example with respect to the business or like corporate structure. So suppose you have your employee ID, okay, your first name, last name, all these details are there, the address and everything. So these employee IDs are unique. You see, this employee ID for employee, for each employee ID, it specifies a specific person. Okay, so two IDs cannot be same. Like you have your registration numbers, right? So those registration numbers are unique. The two registration numbers cannot be same. Like two students cannot have the same registration number. So same here, the employee IDs are unique, and the first name, last name, and the address is everything. The address also can be same for two people, but the IDs have to be different. Okay. So next comes the payroll. Payroll means what is the salary structure the employee gets. So depending on each employee ID, will have a different payroll. So if you are asked to relate these two tables, is it possible or not? Yeah, hello, hello. Let me ask. Okay. Aditya, can you hear me? Aditya Vajpayee. Aditya. Yeah, Aditya, can you hear me? Ashish Kumar, can you hear me? Ashish. Dinesh, can you hear me? Dinesh Ram Sai, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I can hear you, ma'am.
Okay, just one example I'm giving you, that you have your employee ID, okay, and the names, address of each person. So this is unique. Like each employee ID and employee IDs of two people cannot be same. So each employee ID belong to a specific person, and their details are here in one table. And here you have the payroll, the salary structure of each employee ID. So is it possible to combine these two tables? Merge these two tables? And if we can, what can be the deciding criteria? Like on which basis you can merge? Yeah. Are you clear with my question? Yeah, Dinesh, could you understand my question?
Yes, ma'am. You said like how can we merge on what basis?
Yeah. Just have a look at this table. The employee IDs are given, all details of the employee, particular employee ID are there here. And with respect to employee ID, the salaries are given. So is it possible to merge or not?
Ma'am, can you repeat? There is so much noise coming from your side, ma'am.
Okay, I'm telling that here you can see this table, right? There is this employee ID
Yes,
and all
ma'am.
the details. So first name, last
Yes,
name, all
ma'am.
address is given, and with respect to employee ID. And on this side
Yes,
there is
ma'am.
this employee ID and the corresponding salary of the person, of particular employee. So is it possible to
Yes, ma'am.
merge these two tables?
Yes, ma'am. You can actually like we can use SQL, and in that we can use that employee ID to sort out the respective salary and merge in this table, ma'am.
You will use the employee ID as the key because that is common
Yes.
between both the tables to merge the tables, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes.
this is
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
yeah, yeah, very good. So this is the way you can merge the table. Okay. So this is like one-to-one relationship. Why it is called one-to-one relationship? Because see, employee IDs are not duplicate. Just the way your registration numbers are not duplicate. Suppose I have in VTOP, as I told you priorly. Suppose in VTOP, each registration number, if I type, I will get all the details. Okay. So suppose there is one more site where depending on your registration number, I can get you like suppose mobile numbers and all. So obviously I can merge both the content if the registration number is common between both the things. So that is called as like one-to-one relationship because for each student the registration number is unique. It cannot be duplicate, and there is a like for each like entity or attribute there is a corresponding attribute. Okay, next come to one to many relationship. So what is this one to many relationship? So let me just give you one simple example. So a single person can have multiple accounts in bank. Okay, just the way like think like you are the single person, but you have your like if you don't have bank account, let me give you like you have your Insta account, you have your LinkedIn account, you have your Twitter account, you have your like Facebook account. So all these accounts belong to the same person. Okay, so this is one to many relationship. So a single customer can have multiple accounts. This is a simple example. So let me give you some detail, more examples on this. Suppose this is the customer ID. Okay, and the customer name, address, all details are there in this table. Okay, this is just look at this IDs. The IDs are different, like unique. Next comes another table where the customer has ordered something. Okay, so just see this 20151. This is the customer number. Okay, the customer name is Angel's Books. So what the customer 20151 has ordered? It has ordered, see, there are three numbers of 20151. So it has ordered three different products. So, you can be a single person, but you can like procure multiple products from some Flipkart or Amazon or Myntra, whatever sites you are using. So the same person can order multiple things. Okay, it's not that they won't. If Flipkart comes, you have ordered two products. It is not that it will give you just one product and go away telling that it is one to one. So it is one to many. A single person can order multiple products, and accordingly the steps will be taken. So whoever like comes to deliver the product to you, they will deliver the entire set of all products whatever you have ordered. So that is called as one to many relationship. So this is the most common form of relationship that exists around this world. Okay. So keep in mind this thing that one to many is the most common form of relationship. Okay. Next comes, suppose, yeah, this same thing, whatever one to many, I'll just show you one portal where what will happen, the moment I type 20151, you will get this name of the customer, all this address, all this, and next, what are the different orders the same customer has placed. Okay, so this is same to like if you go to your Flipkart or Amazon account and go to your orders details, so you will have details of all the orders because a single person, being a single person, you have ordered multiple products from the site. So the moment you go to your portal, you can see all those many products you have ordered. So that is called as one to many relationship. Is it clear? Am I clear with this? Hello? Hello? Yeah, Dinesh, could you understand this?
Ye- yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Hannah,
I
could okay. Hannah, could you understand this? Hello? Hello? Hannah, can you hear me? Harish Kumar, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, could you understand one to many relationship or you want me to repeat? Yeah, Harish. Hello.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
one second.
Once again, you want me to repeat?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So they just forget about anything. Just think one example. Like if you are ordering something, let me give you an example. Suppose you are Haris. Okay. You have your Facebook account. You have your Insta account. You have your LinkedIn account. You have your Twitter account. So meaning is, though you are a single person, you are handling multiple accounts simultaneously. So that is called as a one-to-many relationship. Okay, so just the way suppose you are ordering something in Amazon or Flipkart or Myntra, whatever it is. So you are ordering for a pant, you are ordering for a shirt, you are ordering for a tie, you can order for a shoe also. So though you are a single person, you can order multiple products. So that kind of relationship is called as one-to-many relationship. Okay, is it clear? Could you understand this much?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then what is one to one? One to one means if you are a single person, you can do just one thing. So when will that concept come? Suppose you are talking about passport, okay, or a voter ID or a PAN card. So if even if you are though you are a single person, so you cannot handle multiple passports. You have to handle just one passport, okay, or you are bound to have a single PAN card. So that's it. So that is called as one to one relationship. But in one to many, a single person can handle multiple accounts or multiple like orders you can place in some site or something. So that is called as one to many. So in general, in normal life, the most common form of relationship that we see is one to many. Okay, so suppose you are like son of your parents, you are brother of your sister, you are brother of your siblings, you are friends to your friend, you are like student to a teacher. So though you are a single person, you maintain different relationship with different people. So that is called as one to many relationship. Is it clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now let me go to many to many. Okay, so what is this many to many? So that let me give you an example. Suppose uh, suppose you are ordering something from Flipkart. Okay, suppose some Pepe jeans or some spiker shirts or something you ordered, and some Nike shoes you ordered. So you have ordered suppose 5 products. Is it mandatory that if you have ordered a Nike shoe, that Nike shoe cannot be bought by anyone else in this world? Is there any constraint like that? Are you understanding my question? Yeah, Haris.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so is there any constraint like that? So you are ordering like 5 products from Flipkart, some Nike shoes, some Pepe jeans, some spiker shirts, whatever it is. Okay. So if you have bought a Nike shoe, so is there any constraint that Flipkart won't sell that Nike shoe to anyone else in this world? Is there any constraint like
No,
that?
no.
So that same product, like if you have chosen a black color Nike shoe, that Nike shoe can also be bought by different people in this world. Okay, so now you are a single customer, you can order n number of products, and a single product can also be bought by n number of people. Is it clear? Is it clear? Are you understanding this concept?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is called as many to many relationship. Okay, so this is just one example like customer and the product. So customer is an entity, product is an entity. So they can buy, customer can buy in multiple products. A single product also can be bought by multiple customers. So all this combinedly is called as many to many relationships. Okay, so let me give you an example. Suppose customer makes n orders, and n orders are made for like suppose a single product. So suppose the entities are customer, order and product. So customer ID, name, age, mobile number are the attributes of the customer. Similarly for the product, what are the attributes? Order ID, customer ID, product ID, all this. So how do you relate these two? Suppose customer ID of the customer and the order. So these can be combined, like these two are same, so I can merge these two tables. And similarly, the product ID of the order and the product ID, here can be merged. So there, this way you obtain a many to many relationship, which is nothing but combinations of many number of one to many relationships. So this is what? This is one to many. This is also many to one. So if I combine these two, I'll get many to many relationship. Is it clear? Could you understand this much? Avinav, can you hear me? Avinav, can you hear me? Yeah, Harish, was this clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Dinesh, was it clear? Okay, Isita, can you hear me?
Ma'am, yeah, I can hear you, ma'am.
Okay. Is it clear, Isita? Okay. Josita, is it clear? Josita, can you hear me? Kunal, can you hear me? Are you there? Okay. A lot of you are not there then. Okay,
It's
anyway.
clear.
Okay. So now, okay. So just try to understand this. These are the three relationships that you need to know. So let me give you one more example of many to many. So suppose here the employee ID, the name, and the project number. So a single person can work in multiple. The way, just think of this example. Your single registration number can be registered in like 5 to 6 different subjects during a semester. Okay, so you are attending all 6 or 7 subjects. Okay, so this is your employee ID or registration ID. So you can work in different subjects, project or subject. So a single this 26, 26, 26. Just see, this is the same person working in 3 different projects. Okay, now those 3 different projects. Okay, so all those projects, what they can do is, in a single project also multiple people can work in this T3, 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 this same project. You see, there are like multiple number of people working also. So this is called as many to many relationship. Okay, so next comes, what are the constraints or the participation constraint. So the relationship that exists, what kind of constraints are imposed on that. So there are basically 2 types of constraint. One is called as a partial participation and total participation. So what is this partial participation? So the customer makes an order. One customer can make multiple number of orders, but also it is possible that a single customer might not order anything at all. Okay, you might not have ordered anything. So that is the relationship which is called as partial participation, where all customers need not get involved in like procuring orders and all. So this is this way, like one to many, but still all customers are not involved. So this is called as partial participation. Next comes total participation. So suppose employee is there and he has a dependent. So every employee, it is not mandatory that every employee has a dependent. Some employee might not have any dependent at all. Okay, but whoever is a dependent, it is mandatory that he will be associated with an employee. If he is the dependent of the company, like his name is there in the dependent list, that indicates that he is dependent of a certain employee. So that is indicated by this double line. Okay, let me see. You can see this double line, right? So that is total participation. This is the representation of total participation. You represent that using double line, and partial participation is represented this way. Okay, like you one arrow, solid line with an arrow coming out, partial participation, but here total participation. So this is the basic concept of all DBMS relationships. So next, let me just show you the syllabus. You can see the syllabus, right, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this completes your first module, that is relationship between data categories. We will move into the second module, that is tags to organize data. Okay, so before we get into the details of what is tagging and all, so let me just give you one simple example. So already you know Like if you are using Facebook or Insta and all, you give a tag. Okay, so why are those tags necessary? Like you give some hashtag, suppose happy me with family, all this kind of tags you give. So those kind of tags are actually like helping you later whenever you search something. Okay, suppose you search something with a certain tag, like suppose happy me or celebrating Diwali, Holi, all this kind of tags. If you search, you will get your posts. Okay, so that's way that way your searching mechanism becomes faster. Okay, so that because of that reason we go for tagging. Okay, the tags are used to organize the data now. So and this is even found to be more efficient than keeping it in folders. Okay, what happens is, suppose you have your pictures, you have gone to some like vacation somewhere, and you have clicked pictures, you have your images stored in a like your laptop or desktop in a certain folder. But sometimes it happens that you keep searching your system for those folders. Like I had gone somewhere, like suppose some part of India or abroad, and I want to see those pictures, suppose. So I'll keep searching my system. So but what to search if I forget the name of the folder? Suppose Australia tour or Kanyakumari tour, those kind of things. So if I don't if I might not have named it that way, it would be really difficult for me to search those folders. So the best thing is keep tagging the folders. So how to tag those folders? So keeping in a folder is sometimes like actually difficult to trace. So generally nowadays we are preferring tagging. So what is this tag concept? So let me give you an example. So tags or labels in some apps can eliminate this time consuming mental exercise. Like I'm thinking, what have I named those folders? Did I name it like vacation or summer trip? Or I might not recall what name I would have given. So I can give the easiest way. Whenever I save those things, I give it a couple of names, like couple of tags. So let me give you one example, like how to tags, or how why we use tags, and when you could just use folders. Okay. So tags are keywords you assign to files. That's what I told you. Like whenever you save something, you give some key tags. So it's like some kind of characteristics. So what happens is, generally when you just think, whenever you are conversing with your friend, suppose you are talking about somebody whose name you might not remember. Okay, but you remember him or her, like suppose a tall guy or a funny guy. Like suppose you are watching some movie and you don't remember the name of the movie, but obviously you can recall that movie using some special features. Like there was a movie where there was a superhero who used to, like, you might not, suppose you don't remember the name Spider-Man or something, but you can tell that there was a superhero who was releasing cobwebs and then moving so fast. So obviously if you use those kind of tag words, then people will be easily interpreting what you are saying. So those kind of, so it's not mandatory that you remember everything. Rather, if you use tags, this searching becomes simplified. So that is the basic concept of tags. So a file can only be in one folder at a time, but it could have an unlimited number of tags. Okay, so this is one thing you need to know, that a folder might be single, but the tags associated with that folder might be many. Like suppose think you are opening your Gmail. Okay, so if you have your different tags, one is your inbox, one is your sent mails, one is your draft mails, one is your trash. You have your social, like different categories, social mails, promotions, forums, all those things. So that way you give tags to your mails, because that is the best way to organize data. Okay, so this thing you need to know, that organizing data means the best practice is tag those things. The moment you tag your data, the organization becomes simplified, and the tracing of those data also becomes simplified. Is it clear? Is it clear? Are you understanding why we are going for tagging and all?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
So, okay, thank you. So how to establish a tag system? Okay, so suppose you are going to some like bookshop or some like CDs. I don't know like whether you people are now going to use CD shops and all. So what happens there is the audio CDs are generally categorized, or the bookshop. Think of bookshops. So in bookshops, what happens is the moment you go, or in your library also, the books are categorized based on tags like science domain books, story books, novels, then horror books. So these are the categories of tags they use to categorize books. Okay, so that is because that is the best way. If you go in library and the books are all jumbled up, all piled up at one place, and you search some novel or something, or a Harry Potter series, so obviously it will be like it will be like one's job to search a book there. But if that book is already sorted and tagged to a particular location, like Harry Potter series or the novels, or like some Chetan Bhagat books, all these kind of books. So the moment you go there, it will be easier for you to trace those books. So a bookstore creates separate spaces for books depending on their genre, like is whether it's a mystery or a romance or a historical fiction and so on. So that's the way you tag the books. So if you are making a tag system for your spreadsheets, like if you're doing some spreadsheet work and you are tagging it, so your high level tags might be whether you name that as a budget or a schedule or an estimate invoice. Those kind of things will help you like or trace your spreadsheet the moment you try to access it. So if you're building a system for documents also, you can add your tags like whether it's a report or a blog post or letter and those kind of things. The way I told you in your Gmail, the moment you look at, you have your inbox, you have your forums, you have your like class, you have your bins, you have sent mails, draft mails. So these are like different tags that you use. So but whenever you make tags, keep in mind that it has to be consistent. Okay, if you give some tag and you only forget what tag you have given, so that way it makes no sense. Okay, so give some relevant tag. Okay, so that at least later when you want to access, at least you will remember what kind of tags you give. Okay, so it cannot be a secret. It has to be a general thing. Okay, suppose suppose mystery books in a particular. I am sorting some mystery books in a library in my home. So if I name that as mystery only, then only I'll be able to like recollect that it's a mystery section. But if I rename that as Q or A, B, C, some random alphabet, so I only might not remember what alphabet I had assigned to it. So don't go for like giving a cryptographic notation to all those tags you give. Rather give a simplified and make it consistent. Wherever you find mystery book, put it there. Also, consider making tags for your status of your files the way I told, like if it's done, put it in a done category, pending category, answer file category. So this way you can categorize your files also, like something you are doing, suppose some slides you are preparing, just keep it in the pending section and all. So that's the way you can go for tagging. So is it clear whatever we discussed today? I'll just stop sharing here. Is it clear? Hello? Okay. Okay, so that's all then for today. So we'll continue with your second module in the next class again. I'll just give the poll, all of you can answer and then we can leave. I have created that spread Google Sheet, so all of you fill your details there. So I think B1, B2, I'll give both the things there so that you can fill your form. And form groups as per labs, so that if I take review during lab session, everybody is available from the group. And fill your details depending on your lab slots. Okay.
Ma'am, ma'am,
Ma'am,
Yeah.
when's the last day to fill the form?
You do it by this Sunday.
excuse me, ma'am.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
Yeah, tell me.
Ma'am, if we have lab today, like Tuesday, so we have to fill in the G2 form. Oh, sorry,
B2.
B2.
Yeah,
B2
B2. I'll
form.
say. Yeah, yeah. That is not
So,
shared, I think. I'll share with you now. Okay.
okay, ma'am. So
Okay.
Tuesday lab students have to fill in B2 form, na?
Yeah, B2. Tuesday, depending on the lab slot, you fill. Okay, Tuesday lab.
Yeah, we have lab in evening. So
Yeah,
in
yeah.
that form, it was written B1, B2. That's why it was very confusing.
Okay, no.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am. We
okay.
have from 4 to 5.
Yeah,
Okay, then
ma'am.
you
So,
fill that in the B2 form. Okay, I'll
okay.
share that now.
Ma'am, ma'am,
Yeah.
otherwise change the slot from B1 to lab slot, ma'am. It will be easier.
Okay, I'll just rename
Yes,
that.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
Rename
ma'am.
that. I'm just giving you the poll question so that all of you can answer and then you can give. And whoever has issues with attendance, just send me in WhatsApp because this team message or mail, I'm not checking that regularly. Just send me in WhatsApp so that I can take necessary steps. Okay, and do it before Monday. Okay, don't keep it after Monday so that if it gets logged, it is not possible on my part to again approach HOD and all those things. So just do it before Monday.
Ma'am,
Yeah, tell me. Yeah,
the project is it individual or group?
sorry.
How many students in one group, ma'am, for doing project?
How many?
Yeah, students in one group for
Yeah,
your component.
yeah, yeah. You can have three, four, five. Okay.
Okay.
Just fill that form, everyone. I'm just now sharing again so that you can fill it up.
Ma'am,
Yeah, tell me.
everyone in the group should fill that project form. It is one per group.
One per group, but all the members' names would be there in the group.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just renaming those. Those who have answered can leave. I'm just sharing that in WhatsApp. Okay, so that you can all update that and do
Ma'am,
it before this. Yeah, tell me.
ma'am, we are 6 members in the project group, ma'am. Is it fine? Because you said 5 to 6 maximum, so
Yeah,
we took.
okay, fine, fine. No issues.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, those who have answered can leave. Thank you, everyone. I'll end the meeting here.